Okay, class. So I know that in the past few weeks we've been talking about biomes, especially in science, and we've been looking at maps and social studies about the different biomes that are around the area that we live and in the United States. And we've been talking mostly about the animal, the raccoon, because the raccoon is mostly native to what state?
Tennessee.
Tennessee. And what biome is in Tennessee, or what environment is in Tennessee that raccoons live in?
A lot of areas with woods and trees.
Good, so woods and trees. So, since we've been talking about raccoons, today we're going to read this story by Audrey Penn, and it's called The Kissing Hand. Now, by looking at the cover of this book, do you know why we might be reading it?
It's about a raccoon.
The main characters are raccoons. So I picked it because of that, and I feel that it's a story that you all can relate to. So, now just by looking at the cover of this story, what inferences can you make? What do you think the story will be about? A mom and its son? Okay. So, what else do we know from just looking at the cover? Does it tell you anything about the setting or the time of day that it might take place?
Nighttime.
At nighttime. Very good. So let's begin. Chester Raccoon stood at the edge of the forest and cried, "I don't want to go to school," he told his mother. "I want to stay home with you. I want to play with my friends, and play with my toys, and read my books, and swing on my swing. Please, may I stay home with you?" So, why do you think Chester is sad? Why is he crying?
He doesn't want to go to school.
Because he doesn't want to go to school? So, how did you feel on your very first day of school?
I was scared.
You were scared? So, do you think maybe Chester is scared since it's his first day of school?
Probably.
Probably. Okay, let's continue. Mrs. Raccoon took Chester by the hand and nuzzled him on the ear. "Sometimes we all have to do things we don't want to do," she told him gently, "even if they seem strange and scary at first. But you will love school once you start." So once you started school on your first day, did you love it in the end?
Yes.
Yeah, so do you think Chester will too?
Mhm.
"You'll make new friends and play with new toys, read new books, and swing on new swings. Besides," she added, "I know a wonderful secret that will make your nights at school seem as warm and cozy as your days at home." Was there something interesting on that passage that you noticed?
They go to school at night.
He goes to school at night. Now, there's a term for that we've been learning, a new vocabulary word. Do you remember what it's called?
Nocturnal.
Nocturnal, because raccoons are nocturnal animals. Now, do you know what nocturnal means?
They sleep during the day and are awake at night.
Very good. They sleep during the day and are awake at night. Chester wiped away his tears and looked interested. "A secret? What kind of secret?" A very old secret," said Mrs. Raccoon. "I've learned it from my mother, and she learned it from hers. It's called the kissing hand." "The kissing hand?" asked Chester. "What's that?" "I'll show you." Mrs. Raccoon took Chester's left hand and spread open his tiny fingers into a fan. Leaning forward, she kissed Chester right in the middle of his palm. Chester felt his mother's kiss rush from his hand, up his arm, and into his heart. Even his silky black mask tingled with a special warmth. Mrs. Raccoon smiled. "Now," she told Chester, "whenever you feel lonely and need a little loving from home, just press your hand to your cheek and think, 'Mommy loves you, Mommy loves you.' And that very kiss will jump to your face and fill you with toasty, warm thoughts." So, what do you think about that? Was there ever a time when you felt scared or nervous and maybe you were missing home? Was there anything that your mom did that was special that made you feel better?
She hugged me.
She hugged you, so that's basically the same thing as the kissing hand. Alright. She took Chester's hand and carefully wrapped his fingers around the kiss. "Now, do be careful not to lose it," she teased him. "But don't worry. When you open your hand and wash your food, I promise the kiss will stick." Chester loved his kissing hand. Now he knew his mother's love would go with him wherever he went, even to school. That night, Chester stood in front of his school and looked thoughtful. Suddenly, he turned to his mother and grinned. "Give me your hand," he told her. What do you think's going to happen?
He's gonna kiss her hand.
You think he'll kiss her hand? That's a very good inference. Chester took his mother's hand in his own and unfolded her large familiar fingers into a fan. Next, he leaned forward and kissed the center of her hand. "Now you have a kissing hand too," he told her, and with a gentle goodbye and an "I love you," Chester turned and danced away. Mrs. Raccoon watched Chester scamper across the tree limb and enter school, and as the hoot owl rang in the new school year, she pressed her left hand to her cheek and smiled. The warmth of Chester's kiss filled her heart with special words. "Chester loves you," it sang. "Chester loves you." So, by looking at the last page in the story, do you think Chester was okay when he got to school and he looked happy?
Yeah, I think he was okay.
Yeah, I think so too, because he's with all of his friends and he finally met his new teacher. So, what did you think about that book? Did you like it?
Yes.
Yeah, because it really is a message that we can all relate to, and it reinforces what we've been learning in science and social studies.